So, can you see me at all? Hello? So I learned from my last video I recorded, which is actually for my business, that if I can see myself in there, you still might not be able to see me. So I'm probably totally gone. Alright, so I realized it's like I'm recording this on Thursday night. It's probably not going to be posted till Friday, but I haven't uploaded anything this week, including my Dragon Warrior stuff. And so I was on a walk and I decided, you know what, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna record while I'm walking, and it's gonna be really kind of annoying because I'm gonna go in and out and you're not gonna be able to see anything. So instead of me doing that and like walking in darkness the whole way and you not being able to see me at all, what I'm gonna do is record these short little snippets when I'm underneath streetlights. And that will keep me from rambling a lot. I'll probably still ramble some. Alright, this is kind of an area of the road doesn't have a lot of trees, and so I might be able to get a longer clip in here. But I'm gonna be, well, I say that. Boy, that didn't last very long, did it? Let me try to get behind the light here. Maybe have a little bit of a eclipse effect. I'm going to be really honest about why I have not been recording much podcast. Yeah, podcasts. In all seriousness, this is going to be like the most annoying thing ever to edit. Okay, so for several years I've been kind of a podcast addict. But since I was introduced to Serial a few months ago, it's kind of reached a whole new level, and I've added a ton of podcasts to my list, which were mostly theological before, but now encompass a wide variety of topics. So, okay, I was about to jump into another sentence there, but that's gonna have to wait. So I looked up, basically Googled a list of really great podcasts, and I've done that a couple times, and I started on 3 new ones to me in the last couple of weeks. I've now abandoned 2 of those, but the other one I really, really like. So, and what I normally do is I get in on a podcast late, like Serial, like Undisclosed, like Truth and Justice, and I feel like I'm kind of in a Queen video now. Yep. Y'all see anybody following me? Kind of feels like somebody's following me. So I jump in on podcasts late, and they normally have a couple of seasons in already, and then I just binge on them, kind of like, as though they were like, did you see that bug? Okay, enough distractions. We'll try to actually finish this in the next slide. If I finish this, I don't mean actually finishing this video. I am way too long-winded for that. But I really just mean kind of finish what I was about to say before. Well, now I've lost my chance. So I end up binging through the whole season of it, much like, Daredevil being released, and I'll probably burn through that pretty quickly, even though I haven't quite finished Jessica Jones, so I guess I should probably do that first. Both Daredevil Season 1 and Jessica Jones, by the way. Recommend, not for everyone. They did definitely like an R rating on those, but still very good. What was I talking about? Podcasting. So mostly... Alright, next slide. So then I reach the end, and then I'm kind of starving for something else. And I have my normal podcast, but they're typically coming out like once a week or so. And, whenever they come out, I download them and get through that pretty quick. Car coming. There they go. So I download those and normally burn through it the same day, but the next day I'm kind of needing something, and if I don't have a giant backlog of something, then I go off searching for something else. And thus, and I've given up on the whole in-between streetlight things. Sorry for the darkness right there. And thus, why, about a week ago, I started up 3 different podcasts, going back to episode 1 on each one. I won't tell you what the other 2 were, because I'm sure they were just fine. They just weren't really for me. The one I kept was Startup, which is kind of touching to me, because I for the last nearly year, most of my energy has been focused on starting my own business, and so it was kind of cool to hear somebody else's story and the struggles they were going through, which a lot of them were very close to the struggles that I've been going through, but also a lot of them very, very different, because it's a very, very different type of business. And so I burned through 2 seasons of that show pretty darn quickly, and I liked it not only from the business point of view, but just because it was told well, and good stories are very good when they're told well. I'm now part of the neighborhood that actually has sidewalks. Most of my neighborhood does not, but that also means I'll be away from the light more. So anyways, Startup is actually really interesting to me, because they are doing, one of the things that I wanted to do with this blog is to tell my story of what was going on, trying to start a business while, trying to be a good friend, be a good husband, be a good father, all at the same time, and kind of tell my story. And, that's not what really this blog is turning into. It's like just darkness now. And I'm not saying that metaphorically, like as part of my life or anything. It's just that I'm looking at the screen and there's nothing on it. It's just darkness. Let me try to get into the light here. Again, not metaphorical. We're talking real light. So I'm listening to this podcast, and it's kind of doing what I had wanted for this, but what I've wanted for my vlog has changed over the several months that I've done it. And much as their businesses, both businesses in seasons 1 and 2 have had to kind of make alterations on the way. Now, the advantage that Startup has that I do not have was that the first season of Startup was telling the story of starting a podcast company, which is kind of an unfair advantage when trying to maintain a podcast when that's your job. And this is not my job. So part of my story in all of this is, I'm trying to document being a good businessman and in a startup venture, and being a good husband, and being a good father, and being a good friend, and being a good churchman, and being all these things, and being a good writer, and being a good musician, and doing videos is going to take a backseat to all of those things, because all of those things are more important than being a YouTube vlogger. I really enjoy doing this, but it's not paying the bills, and it's not raising the kids, and it's not being the husband and all of that. Which is why Startup is a really, really fantastically well-produced podcast, and I'm doing videos at the last minute on Thursday night, realizing I haven't done anything this week. I don't think I have. So actually combining videoing for YouTube while exercising, which is not the ideal way of doing this. at all.